jacket and lots of blood. But don't worry, Helen, it's not your blood. It's just the blood of Anne-Marie's dog over there. Helen stupidly picks up the bloody cleaver on the ground and follows Anne-Marie's screams into a bedroom, where she finds her rocking an empty bloody crib. Anne-Marie sees and attacks Helen, assuming her to have kidnapped baby Anthony. Helen's able to defend herself with that cleaver, but she's looking like quite the aggressor when the police come in and break up the fight. Helen is arrested and taken to the police station to get processed by a cop played by Rusty Schwimmer, previously seen on the kill count as both the angry diner owner in Jason Goes to Hell and the sweet secretary of John Gallagher Jr. in the Belko Experiment. The king of cartoons tells Helen that she's under arrest for attacking Anne-Marie, killing her dog, and kidnapping her baby. Trevor's not home when she calls him around 3 a.m., but he does pick her up the next morning and takes her back home where they talk to her lawyer.
Now, they haven't charged you because they think they'll find the body.
Oh, what? The baby body? I know where it is. It's hanging out in the B building. Helen doesn't know that yet, though, so she's unable to provide any info that would make her seem less guilty and or crazy. Trevor steps out to pick something up from work. Yeah, okay. And Helen passes the time by drinking, smoking, and looking at a slideshow of the pictures from her camera. In one of them, she sees Candyman. No, not the cool mural of him. The actual motherfucker himself. You sure this is a good time to look into that Candyman portal, Helen? Who knows what could happen? Oh shit, that could happen. That scare was actually a legit one, since Bernard Rose sprung it on Virginia Madsen by surprise.
Still kind of mad about it.
Tony Todd, knowing it would scare her, didn't want to participate, and after Rose convinced him to do it anyway, he ended up apologizing profusely to Madsen.
And then, of course, he felt so terrible that I was really scared. But it's all right, Tony.
Helen runs out of her apartment and finds Candyman waiting for her in the hallway. She runs back inside her apartment, only to find him there, too, standing right behind her. He scolds Helen to the ground for ruining the legend of Candyman.
Your disbelief destroyed the faith of my congregation. Without them, I am nothing.
And to make people believe in him again, he's threatening to kill her. Though, on the bright side, he does say it'll make her immortal. You could do worse on a deal with death. During their negotiation, Bernadette shows up at Helen's apartment. She hears Helen crying and comes in to help her, only to find Candyman waiting for her behind the door. The actual kill takes place off screen, but after Trevor comes home to find Helen with a knife in her hand, we do see Bernadette's body being handled by cops. Helen is arrested for her best friend's murder, and as she's driven to a psych ward, Candyman talks inside her head and tells her how awesome it is to be a legendary ghost. She should totally try it sometime. Helen is strapped to a bed and left alone, which is when Candyman pays her another visit, floating over her like a beautiful, graceful swan. A candy swan! And now he's gone, hidden under the bed like so many monsters, before the hospital staff injects Helen with some calming drugs. Meanwhile, over in Cabrini Green, baby Anthony is being given some much better treatment. Look, he's got all the honey he could ever want. Helen awakens and is taken to see a psychologist named Dr. Burke, who's got some pretty surprising news for her.
And for the past month, yes, we've been stabilizing you on a heavy dosage of Thorazine.
Whoa, what? She's been committed for a full damn turn of the moon already? He plays her a video from the night she was admitted, which shows her yelling at nothing, even though we all saw Candyman planking on her midair.
I don't understand.
Me neither, Helen. Has Candyman been a figment of your imagination all along? I mean, if he was, I totally get it, girl. She asserts her sanity and says she can prove it by calling for Candyman in the mirror. 5 utterances later, she gets to say I told you so when Candyman's hook emerges from Dr. Burke's torso. This kill is the major difference between this movie's rated R and unrated versions, which you may have been able to tell due to the change in film stock quality. It's weird, though. I don't think there's anything too ridiculously heinous here. With another kill in his candy bag, Candyman tells Helen that she's his now, then frees her from the restraints and straight up yeets himself out the window. Fuck, I love that crazy ass shot. I don't even care that you can see the string. As hospital staff bangs on the locked door, Helen hops out onto the windowsill and makes her way into the neighboring room, where she knocks out a nurse and robs her of her clothes. Yeah, dude, that's really happening right now. With her scrubby disguise, Helen escapes the hospital and runs wee all the way home, right into a fresh freshly painted apartment. And boy, is that color hideous. Who would have ever chosen that bubblegum trash? Oh, Stacy. That makes sense.
Get out of my home.
Oh man, that girl just straight crumpled. Yo, Trevor, you see that shit? Where you at, dog?
What's that? You think another little boo-boo?
Haha, no, but you probably just made a little doo-doo. Helen uses her rage to terrify Trevor and Stacy and tells them that the color they picked is a tragedy. Fuck yo walls. She's angry and threatening only for a minute though, before she realizes just how screwed she is thanks to Candyman's gaslighting.
It's over.
Yeah, pretty much, Helen. Ain't no one or nothing left for you in the city.
All you have left is my desire for you.
Well, except that. At least you still have that. She returns to Cabrini Green and enters the abandoned murder apartment so she can climb back through the bathroom mirror and see what the Candyman has waiting for her. Ooh, some candles. That's nice. Oh, and the hook. Probably could have guessed that. She climbs up to another floor and finds herself in Candyman's lair, a pad with high ceilings and exposed ivy that was created by production designer Jane Ann Stewart. Inside this lair, filled with church-like murals of our favorite B-boy, done by graffiti artist
My birthday's
Kelly
on
Echo,
Friday.
Helen strangely finds the Candyman taking a little snooze. Wait, isn't that guy a ghost? Do ghosts need to
No,
sleep?
4
Do ghosts
to
even
8.
dream of? Haunted
Orbit
sheep? She
Friends.
goes to hook herself a big one, but he wakes up right as she sticks him in the neck. And that ain't about to stop the Candyman. Not when he's so excited about Helen coming to visit him, even if it is
I
mostly
haven't
for the
made her
sake of baby
invitation.
Anthony.
Surrender to me now.
Hang on.
Be unharmed.
They have a romantic spin around, which originally lasted a lot longer and included Helen declaring her love for the Candyman. But apparently
Okay,
the
Mason?
studio made them cut it because of concerns over interracial romance.
It took too
Yeah,
much
he
time.
said he is.
And,
Zoe,
we got word the
Z-O-I.
studio was a little afraid.
I'm like, ow!
They were okay with a tall black man covered
more,
in bees, but when it came to a kiss or something like that, it was
I-
risque.
Never hear of Loving V Virginia? Helen faints and Candyman scoops her up in a tripod stand, then walks her across the room while reciting some very Clive Barker-esque dialogue.
The pain I can assure you will be exquisite.
Okay, you
As exquisite as the pain is going to be,
I don't wanna
he says
invite
their
nobody
deaths
else.
are about to be even doper,
can't
since
invite
afterward
nobody
they'll be talked about as legends by everyone in their congregation. Sounds cool, Candyman, but maybe slow your roll with that hook, huh? What kind of girl do you think Helen is? Maybe the kind of girl who's
Not
into
Ryan.
bees? In that case, here's a chest full of bees. And a mouthful of bees? What? This infamous bee scene was filmed with live bees
Okay,
thanks
I
to bee
guess,
wrangler
Ryan.
Dr. Norman Gary.
Ryan,
Gary built
I
an
guess.
apiary on the roof of the studio so they could use bees that were younger than 24 hours old, since baby bees don't have fully developed stingers and are less likely to sting. That proved very necessary for Virginia Madsen, who
Yeah.
it turns out was super allergic to bee venom. And so paramedics
Okay,
were
let me
required
do
to stand
this.
by on set just in case she got stuck. She didn't, thankfully, possibly because Dr. Gary developed a queen bee pheromone. Not only was it used to get the bees to go where they wanted, it also helped placate them. As for Tony Todd, for the mouth bees, he wore a dental plate built by effects artist Mark Coulier to keep the bees from crawling around too much, although it didn't work 100% of the time.
He said he could feel one of the bees had got behind
Doesn't really
the
fit.
sheet of latex that I put in their mouth, and you could feel it crawling through the back of the throat as you.
Oh, I smell shit. Who farted?
Oh my god, Mom, stop cussing. Andrew.
He did get stung once or twice by the mouth bees.
Guess some of them didn't
like being in Tony's mouth.
But most
Stop
of the
cussing.
26 or 27 stings he suffered during production of all 3 Candyman films happened on his chest, as the bees reacted negatively to the prosthetic design by Hellraiser effects artist Gary J. Tunicliffe. And in case anyone was worried about the well-being of the
No, I
bees,
didn't
the
fart.
ASPCA was on set while they shot this scene.
I did
and
not.
Dr. Gary cleaned them all up
I just
afterwards
forgot.
with a harmless and hilarious bee vacuum. Candyman takes baby Anthony away and leaves Helen to wake up to a bunch of invisible bees and a message painted on the wall.
It was always you.
Can you like explain something?
It was always you.
I feel like that statement is up to interpretation, but I've always thought of it as Helen being some sort of spiritual reincarnation of the woman
Not yet.
Candyman loved and died for. That or he's just gaslighting her. Who knows? She hears baby Anthony cry and follows his wails outside, where she hears that they're coming from that garbage heap. Another creation of production designer Jane Ann Stewart, who had the city of Chicago truck in a bunch of trash for them to build into a giant heap with safe tunnels in it. The tunnels were necessary since Helen is about to climb inside in an effort to save baby Anthony, using that hook to help hoist her up the hill. Inside Cabrini Green, Jakey awakies and looks out the window to see a hook descend into the trash heap.
He's here.
So while Helen inches her way closer to the baby she's trying to save, Jake, thinking Candyman's inside the trash heap, enlists some other Cabrini Green residents to douse it all in gasoline while more amazing Philip Glass music plays. Right as she reaches the baby, they light the torches up so they can burn them. They light the heap ablaze and Candyman grabs Helen from behind, intending to hold her captive long enough for all of them to burn together and become a legendary ghost family.
Her bones
Mom, can I unpack my lunch tomorrow?
we shall never be separated again.
Helen breaks free of Candyman's power by grabbing a flaming steak and stabbing him in the bee chest while he thrashes around angry.
Sandwich
She crawls
with
away with the
barbecue
baby,
chips.
and although a falling beam lights her on fire on the way out, she does manage to escape against Candyman's wishes.
Oh my God, sharks.
See, I would, but, I've got to get my hair fire put out. You understand, right? Helen and her weird melty head prosthetic are able to get the baby to Anne-Marie as Candyman succumbs to the flames. And yes, I know he's a ghost who already died before, but this seems like another kind of death for him. I mean, the dude turned into a bunch of fire bees right there, and there's clearly a charred body left in his place. That's gotta count for something, right? But Candyman isn't the only victim of this fire. Helen succumbs to her wounds as well, as revealed in a funeral scene that sees her buried. Damn, Trevor, you really about to bring a new boo to your wife's funeral? That's tacky as fuck. At first, it appears as though Helen's funeral could actually use the attendance padding. But her handful of grievers are joined by a procession of Cabrini Green residents, headed by Anne-Marie carrying baby Anthony, and Jake dressed up looking like a little candy boy. They're there, I think, because they're Helen's congregation now. And as a way of saying thank you for everything she did, Jake drops Candyman's hook into her grave. A Danu Mall shows Trevor moping around at home, apparently already bored with his new paramour.
Stop
Yeah,
lying.
dude, you should have appreciated Helen while you had her. Now you're stuck with a college student who doesn't know the first thing about knife safety. Come on, Stacy, never cut meat when you're angry. Trevor sobs Helen's name into the mirror a few times, and although the first one is really hard to hear, he does say her name 5 times, after which, well, you know. Flashing lights warning, by the way, because Helen's jump scare is full of needlessly strobing lights. Helen, the candy woman, kills Trevor with the murder weapon she's inherited, a gnarly bloody hook. And boy, does she love doing it! Flashing lights are over now, because all that's left to see here is Trevor's bloody corpse as discovered by Stacy, who very inconveniently has a knife in her hand. The movie ends with credits that play over a new painting hanging up in Cabrini Green, a portrait of Helen as a fire-haired myth. Like Candyman promised, she will now live forever. How many people did Candyman have be his victim? Let's find out and buzz our way to the What is it? Was it? No! Not the bees! Not the bees!
I'm
There
not
were
gonna
6
be alive
victims
no
in
more.
Candyman, consisting of 3 women and 3 men. Although one of the women